All right, here we are kind of jumping into conditional things now. This is where we start asking these questions. All right, well, if this happens, then I want something else to occur on the screen. Okay, in order to do that, we have to be able to have the computer answer some questions like true, false, yes, no, which is why last time we were together, we kind of did that guess who thing with the animals and started getting used to seeing some of these different true, false symbols. Let's go and take an inventory of what you're going to see now in lesson 14. In the yellow part of the toolbox, world, that looks the same. Draw a loop and a draw sprite. Okay? In the blue part of the toolbox, pretty much the same. I see text align is back and font is back. We haven't done much with arcs, lines, points, and polygons, but that's okay. There's some extra things to play with at some point. Under variables, we haven't used this drawer very much, but I want to point out that now you see, console log. Interesting. And at the bottom of your screen, remember how this says debug console? We're going to use a little bit of this today. Sprites, that looks the same. XY scale rotation with my creating sprite and setting the animation. Ta-da! Here is where you start to see something different. So I want to take a second and point out a few things that are different because this is what we're going to work on and use somewhat today. All right. So first of all, you see adding, subtracting, multiplying, that looks kind of like that star. That's this one right there. And then dividing is that forward slash. At the very bottom, you see random number. We've used that, but it's these three in the middle. All right. So now you're going to see a math operator that has the double equal sign. All right. That is what we were talking about last time as true, or are these the same? This is the same as this. Okay. And then you see greater than and less than. They call these Boolean operators because the computer can answer the question when you put two things there, are they true? Is it true or is it false? Okay. This is what you're going to do in the beginning part of lesson 14. Now, just watch here so I can demo something for you. Okay. Here's what I've got. I got this little caterpillar. You can see I've created this sprite here. And I had to scale it down because it was kind of big. Then inside my draw loop, I have a background. I'm having my caterpillar crawl across the screen and rotate a little bit so it's wiggling. Okay, now, why or when would I use something like this? Well, let's say I want something else to happen once my caterpillar gets to a certain point. So I'm going to turn the grid on. All right, here's where the X value would be about 300. So I'm going to put a console log inside the draw loop, okay? And what I'm going to put here is I'm going to say math, and I'm going to use the greater than symbol. Watch what happens when I put that in here, okay? I want to know, when is the caterpillar's X position greater than 300, let's say. So I don't type that in words. I'm going to say, just like here, caterpillar.x. So I'm going to put that here. Caterpillar. When is the caterpillar's X position greater than 300? Okay. Now, what's going to happen as I run the program, and you're going to have to watch down here, it's kind of small type, in this debug console. When I run it, it's going to start by saying false, 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 because the caterpillar is going to start over here where my X value is small. And as it crawls across the screen, the X value gets bigger, bigger, and it eventually is going to say true. Watch while I run it. False, 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 false. Here he comes. It's measured by the middle. Watch this console log. Boom! Now it's true because it kind of crossed this imaginary line. That happened. Okay? This kind of helps you see when that's going to occur. I'll run it again. Keep saying false, 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 false. When it gets to about right here, now it says true. Okay, how is that helpful? Well, because then we're going to use this idea to set a condition for other things to happen. Let me show you, and we're going to play this together in here. Let me oomph up my sound as much as I can.
My name is Felicia Williams, and I work at Facebook in augmented reality and virtual reality. Augmented reality is going to really change the way that we think about using computers, and it's a really fun place to be right now. Whether you're making an animation, an app, or a game, it's often necessary for your computer program to test a condition to see if it's true or false. To do this, we use a Boolean expression, an expression that can only evaluate to either true or false. This is similar to asking the computer a yes or no question. Let's look at 3 types of expression that we can make with comparison operators. 2 equal signs compares the values in each box and asks, are these 2 values equal to one another? The greater than sign compares 2 values and asks if the value on the left is greater than the value on the right. And finally, the less than sign compares the 2 values and asks if the value on the left is less than the value on the right. For each comparison, we will get either a true or false answer. For example, when playing a game, you may get a bonus when you reach a specific score, say 100. To know when to give the bonus, the computer will use a Boolean expression that asks, is the value stored in the variable score equal to 100? If the expression evaluates to true, then you will get a bonus. If it evaluates to false, nothing happens. We can use another comparison operator to make our game even more accurate. In this example, the bonus is only given if the player's score is exactly 100. But if the player passes 100, they should still get the bonus, right? To do this, we'll use the Boolean expression that asks, is the user score greater than 99? If this is true, then the player gets a bonus. By using Boolean expressions to ask true, false questions, you can make your animations, apps, and games even more dynamic and interactive for your users.
Awesome. Okay, so as you start working through lesson 14, and of course, first make sure your project is done in lesson 13 before you start diving into 14. Here's what you're going to see in the levels. Level number 1, you have to make a prediction. And here it's going to have, you'll see, it has some statements here, and you're trying to predict what each one is going to say. Here's sprite 1, here's sprite 2. They've got X and Y positions that would draw on the coordinate system. Can't see them yet because they want you to come here and write your predictions or answer which way do you think it's going to answer. All right. Console log sprite. The sprite 1's Y is exactly the same as sprite 2's Y value. All right. Once you do that, we just watched this video on level number 2. So you can hop on to 3. Here it wants you to match words to the what we call the Boolean operators or expressions, and then you're going to start diving in, okay? You're going to add some console log things. You'll start working through. There's another video you can watch on your own when you get there. When you get here to the one with the choices, I want you to do A and B, okay? A and B, I think, on this one. And let me check just to be sure. What did I say here? Maybe it was A and C. Okay. Do A and C. I got to update that. Okay. So do this one and do the alien one, I think. 9 is the one that will eventually go in the grade book as a checkpoint. Okay. And then on the challenges, I think what we will do is let this be optional. We'll talk more about how to use the visible command once we get there. All right, so you're going to start to work through this. I do want to make sure that you are totally aware of this and ignore the dates, but there are videos for every single level of lesson 14. I want you to make sure, please, that you rely on those now, because that is going to be the way you're going to figure things out when you get stuck, and I can't necessarily get around to everybody. Okay? So, good luck. As I said, finish lesson 13, and then you're going to start on lesson number 14 and start working through each of these. What you're going to see in lesson 14 as you get toward the later ones is now they're going to add a new part of the toolbox called control. And here's where you're going to see an if loop that's going to go inside your draw loop. And this is where the conditions happen. If this happens, then do this. And that's what a lot of you are already asking to do on your projects. So here it is. Okay. Good luck. Be patient. Now things are going to get a little more challenging. Use the videos in Schoology. All right. Good luck. And as always, may the force be with you.